everybody, my name is Katy Purmort. I'm the equine manager here at the Shea Center, and today I'm introducing to you Janelle.
Hi everybody, my name is Janelle Robinson. I'm the director of Therapeutic programs, and we're going to have a little chat today about different types of horses and what we need for therapy and for adaptive riding.
So Janelle, how do we go about selecting the horse for our set of riders here at Shea?
That's a great question. So basically, there's so many different types of people and so many different types of horses. So as a physical therapist, it's our job to match the rider's, what the rider needs with the horse's movement. So there's so many factors that come into play, but first of all, we can talk about maybe specific diagnoses and the typical needs. Again, nothing is cookie cutter, not everything fits, but it's important to just kind of have a basic background so we can talk about specific diagnoses.
So Janelle, tell us about riders with tone and spasticity.
So if a rider has tone and spasticity, there can be a couple different diagnoses. It could be anything from cerebral palsy to possibly a head injury. So if the rider's legs particularly are tight, or their trunk and their arms are tight, I'm gonna need certain movement that's gonna help relax that. So imagine if your nervous system is a little bit on edge and tight, and I give you a horse, first of all, that is lame. So if I have a horse that does not have a clear beat rhythm, so it's like 1, 2, like a big drop in it, it's gonna make you tighten up even more. So first of all, I need sound horses with a quality movement. So in the walk is a 4-beat gait, so I need a horse if someone is really tight that has a very clear, rhythmical 4-beat walk. Also about spasticity, what I really need to do is think about the tightness, particularly of their legs. So I'll give you an example. If you look at this horse's chest and the width of this horse, if I have a little 2-year-old and a 3-year-old is really tight in the legs, I'm not going to be able to spread and crank their legs up on this horse. It might be too much and it might cause them pain. So first of all, do no harm. Make sure that I'm not causing anybody pain. Now, if I go over to this next horse and I have that same rider with tightness in their legs, and you look at the chest of this horse, this is Minnie, he's much more narrower, he's a smaller horse, and right here where the rider would sit is smaller. So again, a child versus an adult is going to be very different for where we put them on the horse. But because this horse is narrower, it's going to allow their legs to stretch around the horse better. If they can stretch around the horse, then that movement, which is another quality we have to talk about, the movement will translate through their hips, through their spine, and help loosen them up. So spasticity, tightness is one factor, as well as size of rider.
All right, now tell me about now the rider that's the opposite of that, someone that has low tone or that might be floppy.
Okay, so again, that's the other spectrum. So if you're talking about tone, we have a spectrum of typical to very tight to very loose and floppy. So if I have somebody who's really hypermobile and loose, I'm not going to put them on something that has a lot of movement because it's going to make them unstable. I might choose the moderate based horse, like this horse Dolly, because she's comfortable and wide. And if you look at her feet, if we watch her move in a minute, she's very grounded, very calming, a very steady rhythm. This is a pretty wide base here. So imagine if you're sitting on something like a 2x4 that's really skinny, you're going to feel wobbly. But if you're on a wider base, you're going to feel more support. So she's like sitting on a big couch, really comfortable couch. Now she's a little bit taller. If you come over to this horse, Mary, he's quite opposite of Minnie. Mary's smaller to the ground, so if I have a low tone rider who's smaller, this is a very appropriate base here. So if you look at the back of this horse, the width here, I would say is medium to even maybe a little bit medium wide. So again, the larger the surface that you're sitting on, the more stable you're gonna feel. So again, having the various types of horses, various size and movements all makes a difference for our riders.
Okay. All right, last thing, how does the movement of the horse come into play?
So movement is really important. So if you think about our nervous systems, we're all very individual. So think about people you might know. Some people are the people who needs a lot of input. They're the people who drive fast, who want to jump horses, and are constantly going. Their nervous system needs a lot of input. Then you have the people you take their feet off the ground, and they're very fearful and worried. So we're on a spectrum, all of us are. So we have to match that spectrum of the movement of the horse. So for somebody who I would call gravitationally insecure, that person is a little bit fearful, I'm going to slow that movement down, get a calmer, wider base. Maybe for somebody who's a sensory seeker like yourself, I'm going to give them faster movement, more choppy movement, maybe more vertical displacement. I'm going to try to ramp up those things to give your nervous system what it needs to optimally function.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you to Janelle for explaining such detail how we select these horses for our riders. Stay tuned next week for more fun.
Bye.